Can you see the feed holes there? There's 1, 2, 3, there's 4 of them inside. Right, 4 of them inside there. And obviously to get that to line up, just use that. Have the drawer in there and then put that piece of ply on the top to give you how much room. Right, now I've given you the tray size, haven't I? So let's take that out. That's the tray. As I say, this is a false bottom, okay? But if you want to do that false bottom, you've got to put a groove all the way round. Can you see? Round here you've got to have a groove in there, round on the back, and the same on the side. Alright, but I think personally, for your first attempt, mate, I just make a solid floor and then put a tray in there. Oh, excuse me. Right, now the reason I've taken this off is so you can see how this works. Now we've got this is what we've got here. This is the feeder bowl, right, upside down. 2 little bits of wood. Well, you can marry that up to suit this, to stick it on there if you want. It would be better because you wouldn't have the heads of the panel pins there. Do the same this end, a piece of wood to hold it. These, you want the holes, the size of these holes for feeding. Oh, looks like 1 inch, what's the name on there? Yeah, those holes are 1 inch. These holes here. Now the feeder, this is what's fixed in the box. Again, it's a single ply that you use, same stuff as this. This is a single ply for the bottom. And that size is, I'll give you this size first, and then you put that on there, and the other one you put on the back. So the overall size of that is 1 1/4 inches. The overall from one edge to the next. But the inside piece looks like it's about 1 inch. Yeah, that's 1 inch on the inside there, and then one time you stick that on there, it's 1 1/4 inches. So take your easiest measurement, which would be this one, inch, and then just put this on top, and then whatever that comes out of that, that's what you stick in there. On this is a little 1/2 inch piece of square doweling type stuff, or 3/8 doweling, these little things, that one and that one over there, and you just glue this onto it then. That's on the bottom, of course, and then what you do is you just line it up. You line it up with this hole. Yeah, and that hole we said was 1 inch, didn't we? Yeah, that hole is 1 inch by 1.5 inches. Yeah, so that's the inside measurement of this little feeder thing, 1 inch by 1.5 inches. So that's what you've got to make it. Better still, the feeder thing will give you the size, inch, there. I keep doing it upside down, don't I? Inch, by 1.5 inches. Okay, that's the size of that. So that's the size inside measurement of that feeder tray. What that does, or you can just have an ordinary tray like this one and put a bit of wire in if you want. I just put a bit of wire in there, chicken wire, just bent it over a bit, and the reason I've done that is because they keep flicking the seed out everywhere and it comes out of the cage all over the place, and they never peck off of the floor, but they go in there. So there it is, 1 inch by 1.5 inches. 4 holes, which is 1 inch of diameter. What other size have I missed out? As you put it together, just, you know, marry it up and think, oh yeah, that decides what piece of wood you put on here on the front of this box. That's all it is. It's a, you know, seed tray, and you just put this piece on there just so that it covers up there, and well, it makes it look neat rather than looking at a square hole like that. It's better to have that looking like that. Now, I just think this was a round thing I used on here. I'll show you what I use. You can get these from online or anything like that. This is what I use for that. That's all it is. I'll tell you the size of it, just to give you an idea. I don't know if they do various sizes, but this one is 3/8. 3/8 across that top. So there you go. Yeah, 3/8. And you just use a Dremel or a little drill. Oh, can I get in there? Sorry about that. Yeah, that's all you do. And that'll make that fancy pattern. You don't have to go far. You just put it at the right angle, and away you go. Time consuming, I know. This one here, if you put these lines in like that, once you've done that, and you go down there with a gold marker, don't do it again. Just lift it straight off. If you slide it, you'll drag all the ink across it. So that's worth bearing in mind. These things, they're little brass, the tops that I put on the top here, they're little brass tacks. You get it from any furniture shop, you know. Oh, again, hinge and brackets, you know, it's what they put on furniture. You know, you see all them brass things going all around the Chesterfield suites and all that. Well, that's all they are. But because these are only, these here are only, what did I say? I forgot now. 1, 2, 3/8. Because these are only 3/8 square. If you whack that in there, you might split it. So I'd put a pilot hole in there and just tap it in. That way it's not going to split it. And if you want, you can put a dear little bit of glue in there and just push it down. You know, that'll hold it down. Now, I don't know if there's anything else I've got to inform you of, but I think for for your first attempt, I'd be inclined to use a fixed floor. See, because you see them grooves there, that's the groove you've got to put in either side, you see, and on the back panel, and that's so you can, and then you've got to put this little piece of wood on here, which is a dear little bit. That just makes up that makes up this space here. So we'll slide that in there, as I say. Right, so now it looks like that. So when you can put this piece at this bottom, you can put it right flush with this piece if you want, but the only reason it's up there a little bit is because of those grooves. But if you're doing the tray that size, the gap you need in, oh, where are you? Not even seeing that. Yeah, if you're doing this tray this size, the gap you got in there, if it's going to be on the bottom, that gap has got to be the same as this piece of wood, the width of this wood here, which is, I think we said 3/8, wasn't it, something like that, or ½ inch. ½ inch to make it a little bit slacker, so it's not so hard. It's 5/8 that one, yeah. Yeah, I think the idea is to make that piece of wood here is 5/8, but for this you want ½ inch, because if you get any seed between the tray and the bottom of the cage, you'll have a job to pull the tray out. That's why there's a difference in those sizes. So you can keep going back on this video to get all your measurements, so you don't have to panic and think, oh, I can't get them all down. You'll get there in the end, but I'll try to make it look simple, but how can you make something look simple when you're trying to give out all these measurements? It's a bit difficult, but there you go. It's I don't think there's any more measurements I can give you. That's about it. But other than the total depth of that, we said was what? 8½ inches, didn't we? Yeah. I don't know how you can. Yeah. If you're not gonna bother with this little extra tray that slides out, this, where are we? If you're not going to bother with that because it's a very thin ply, then bring the base right down to the bottom. Bring it right to the bottom of the legs. Obviously that's going to make a difference with that, unless you use a thicker bit of ply. What you could use a ½ inch. You could use a ½ inch on that. Do it flush with the legs. Put a ½ inch flush there, ½ inch up to there. That will give you that gap size again, so you don't have to re-alter all the measurements on here. But marry stuff up against it as you go. There's nothing worse than doing a nice job there and thinking it's wrong, you've cocked it up. So I'm going to have to leave it there because I must crack on with the work. I've got a lot of work to do. Same with that grit thing. Two dear little bits, one dear little piece of wood there. It's only to stop that tray dropping down. That's all it's for, so it stays level. Otherwise when you push it in, it does that. And they'll just keep flicking it out. So, having done all that, why is that not going in there? Something's not right. Can't have that. It's a very tight measurement, that. Oh, that's simply because that's got to go in first, I think. we'll get there in the end. Oh, it's that, isn't it? Of course it is. Oh dear. Right, I'll sort that out later. So there it is. Okay, I hope that helps you. What I'm going to do, you will find this on your reply to that little meth stove that you commented on. So I hope you've subscribed to my channel, and it'll flag up straight away then. You know, push the button subscribe and the little bell, and this will flag up straight away. But I'll put the YouTube link to bring you up to this video, which you'll find out when you do that. Right, I'll mention it on the Facebook anyway, so you know. Well, my friend, thanks very much. Take care, and I hope you manage to get it done. And if you do, I'd like to see the finished product. Thanks ever so much. Enjoy your venture, and I hope this has helped you. So good luck with it all, and farewell. God bless, friend.